Well, you know, I look for this game. I think it's very important for Detroit to get off to a good start. Look to see if Boston really early in the game tries to pound that ball inside to especially Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale. Robert Parrish in the 2 games in Boston Garden is averaging over 25 points per game. In Detroit, he averaged only 7.5 points per game. That was because of an injured ankle. Let's see which Robert Parrish shows up tonight. I think that he is the key into tonight's ball game.
And we are ready to go. Sellout crowd, Boston Garden, Game 5, Eastern Conference Finals. Parrish and Lane Beer. The Pistons control the tip. Here comes Isaiah Thomas. On the drive, the dish. Lane Beer scores. Well, that quiets the crowd.
That's a big boost right there for Beer Lambeer. He didn't get a field goal in here in Game 2 till 1 minute and 14 seconds on the clock, so he gets a quick one tonight.
Going down to Bird low. Will he answer? Bird misses. Lambeer rebounds. 2-0 Detroit.
This will be the key right here. Can they force Boston to take tough shots and then run the ball out, get it in the open floor?
Nobody on Thomas, but he stepped out of bounds. He had backed out for the 3-point opportunity, put his foot back before the drive and stepped out. A turnover for Detroit. Pistons lead by 2, opening half minute from Boston Garden. Dantley covering Bird. Lambeer's on McHale. Isaiah Thomas on the taller Ainge, missing from the perimeter. Second rebound of the night for Lambeer.
Adrian Dantley hit that outside shot in Detroit.
Dumars, as it's reversed, hits the side of the basket. Rebound Bird.
This is the matchup right there. Can Robert Parrish get himself going inside? They need his scoring.
Dennis Johnson, they need it too, and Dennis Johnson ties it at 2. McHale playing Dantley. Gets past McHale. Misses the layup, and the Celtics are running and can take the lead.
That shot was changed by Parrish. That's his presence inside. He's a shot blocker. You see him walking up the floor. He is yet to get in the picture.
Bird from the perimeter. Larry Bird. 4-2 Boston. Ainge on Isaiah Thomas, handling the ball out top, almost tipped away by Bird. Is Dumars, now Thomas. They switch and he goes in against Dennis Johnson. Foul on Dennis Johnson, first of the game.
A lot of emotion here early in this ball game. Isaiah Thomas trying to go to the hoop against Dennis Johnson. Dennis did not have his position. Blocking foul called, so Detroit will inbound on the side.
2 minutes gone in quarter number 1. Boston leading 4-2.
McHale playing Dantley. AD's going to take it on the drive.
Bird cut off the drive, forced a bad shot from Dantley. Ainge to McHale. And he'll go to the line.
Off a defensive rebound. Danny Ainge penetrating, finding Kevin McHale running the floor, something the Celtics did not happen in Detroit. Now, to say that Boston wants to get in a half-court game, that is true, but they will also pick their spots, and their big men know when to run out. Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish pick their spots, when to run the floor. That time McHale thought he had an opening, and he seized the advantage.
7-2, Boston. Detroit scored first. Lambeer got it, but that's been the only one. Travel, Isaiah Thomas. That's 2 Detroit turnovers. None for Boston so far.
If Boston scores here, you might see Chuck Daly call a 20-second timeout to try to stop this run.
The feed to Dennis Johnson down low. He doesn't get it to fall, but he's fouled. The give and go to Bird on the side, and the 6'4" Dennis Johnson got posted low.
Now Dennis Johnson with a nice cut. You're going to see Dumars leading the double. Mahorn was slow rotating over to pick up the cutting Dennis Johnson. And when you double Bird, your rotation defensively has to be very quick because DJ is big enough and strong enough that he can score inside once he receives it.
There's a symbol of the feelings of a lot of the fans here at the Boston Garden. Boxing gloves. It's been a rough, classic Eastern Conference Finals. Dennis Johnson now 6 out of 7 from the free throw line for the entire series. Not many free throws for Dennis Johnson.
Well, Detroit needs a hoop here right now. They need to run a play and get a good shot. They've had 2 turnovers.
Bird with a near steal from Lane Beer. Shot clock to 10. To 7. McHale stayed. The shot clock to 3. To 2. Thomas driving, scoring, and he'll go to the line. An unbelievable play by Isaiah Thomas.
That was spectacular. If you could see the angle that I had, that a big man jumped out on Isaiah Thomas to cut him off, and he takes it behind his back. Watch Isaiah now. Parrish is going to step out to help on the screen. And watch this. Boom, between the legs, and he takes it down the lane, trips, and takes it to the hoop. That was a big bucket by Isaiah Thomas.
Celtics get back quickly. Larry Bird was already at the other end. McHale moving well and scoring on the baseline. McHale looking aimed, agile with a sore ankle. 11-4. Dumars answers. Parrish kept it alive. Bird triggers the break. Charge on Danny Ainge.
Bill Laimbeer stood his ground. I thought he might have something going there. I said, but
Ainge and Laimbeer, 2 of the feistier players in the NBA. We have a timeout on the floor. Detroit, Chuck Daly having his words with Jack Madden. 8:35 to go, quarter number 1. Boston 11, Detroit 4.
Can you hear me?
We thought we were away for a commercial, and you just saw the replay on that. And Laimbeer standing his ground, and we have an 11-4 Boston lead over Detroit with 8:35 to go in the first quarter. Isaiah Thomas. Back to Laimbeer, and they find the open Dumars from 18. And it's 11-6. Boy, that play from Isaiah Thomas was very big, the three-pointer.
Yes, it was.
Now they've got the switch. Here's the mismatch. Parrish against Danley. He's fouled. And it's Isaiah Thomas.
Bob, it's so important for Boston to be able to get that ball inside like that to Robert Parrish. They're going to collapse on him defensively. You're going to see anytime the ball goes into the post with Parrish and McHale, they're really going to dive in there and double team. That time Isaiah got caught slapping him on the wrist. But they want them to kick the ball out to the perimeter. They feel like if they make them shoot from outside, that they can rebound the ball and maybe get into their open court game, get to the 120, 130-point plateau that they would like to have.
13-6. Boston, 8:05 to go, quarter number 1. Dumars came open off a baseline screen, but they elect to go to Laimbeer. Now Dantley isolated on McHale. Boy, they've been going to this well a lot today. The mismatch, Laimbeer, he misses, but he's fouled. And it's on Kevin McHale.
Well, Detroit did a nice job there. They got the isolation. They got a switch with Bill Laimbeer in the post against Danny Ainge. They dumped it inside to Laimbeer, and although he's not a great post-up player, he's going to have the size advantage, and he will be able to shoot the ball over Danny Ainge.
Laimbeer having to face a lot of Boston Garden pressure here. His teammates felt, despite the Boston Garden pressure and the mystique of this place, that Laimbeer would overcome it. He's 1 for 2 at the free throw line. 6-point Boston lead. Three-pointer. Danny Ainge. Big bucket. All of a sudden, a 9-point Boston lead.
Well, a great touch pass by Larry Bird right out to Ainge in rhythm, and that's what he does best.
Dantley driving. Blocked by Parrish. Isaiah Thomas came up with a loose ball and put it in. Until that shot, Boston had made the last 5. 16-9. Stolen by Laimbeer. Dumars has Dantley on the left. Lambier scoring. In game number 1, Lambier did not score a single point till very late in the game. But here, Lambier already is a force. He has 5 points. Stripped away by Lambier. He's playing very well early. Parrish over Mahorn. Boston by 7.
Great hustle by Lambier.
Dantley gets into the paint. You can just about mark it up.
If Bill Lambier had not dove for that ball, the quicker Danny Ainge would have picked it up. He dove on it. Otherwise, Ainge's speed would have had a layup at the other end. That's a great hustle play that gave his team 2 points.
Lambier really leading his team early. He's been the guy. Shot clock to 8 for Boston. Parrish traveling. No foul. Check that. He's fouled. We have 6 minutes, 7 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Boston 18-13. Well, the Detroit Pistons are trailing here 18-13. They haven't won here since 1982. It must be on the mind of the Pistons, but this is a confident Detroit basketball team. They manhandled Atlanta in the semifinals, lost the first 2 here to Boston, but then manhandled Boston in the Silverdome, and this series is tied at 2. Bird inside. Left-hand layup over Dantley.
Well, Dantley cannot handle Larry Bird inside. Bird is 6'9", and he's ambidextrous. He can score left or right-handed in there. So if Dantley's going to let him get that kind of penetration, it's going to be a long night for AD.
And Boston has connected on their last 7 shots. Dantley driving, and he's going to get 2 fouls.
That was a set play. Adrian Dantley isolated at the top of the floor, and he had nothing in mind there but take it to the basket and draw a foul. He's going to take it to the hoop here, going strong to the left. Watch him. He's just going to hurl his body into people and look to attempt to take the shot. And that's what AD will do for you. It's so important for him to shoot free throws for this Detroit team.
McHale got popped in the nose, as you can see, stinging a little bit. Between his wrist and his knee and his ankle and his nose, Kevin McHale is playoff battered. Detroit now 2 out of 4 from the line thus far tonight.
When you're at home, the aches and pains aren't nearly as bad. You've got the crowd, the adrenaline, the excitement. When you're on the road, it seems like that's when the aches and pains hurt the most.
Dantley gets them both, and it's, as you pointed out in previous playoff games, it is critical for Detroit for Dantley to get to the free throw line.
I think right now Detroit's done a pretty good job of knocking this emotional charge out of the Celtics. They've stayed tough. It's only a 5-point game.
Shot clock to 10. Bird from the perimeter. Didn't get the bounce. Out of bounds. It'll belong to Boston with a new 24-second clock. You know, Larry Bird has been in a shooting slump from the perimeter.
Well, when he is 15 feet to 18 feet out on the floor, his shot has been a little bit short, and I'm not so sure that has to do with maybe tired legs.
Ainge on the baseline. And he misses. Rebound Lambier. Isaiah Thomas has to beat Dennis Johnson. Gives to Mahorn for the jam.
I was just getting ready to say, the man that got to look offense is Mahorn. He's a big part of this front line, and he's got to look to score. He just can't look to play defense.
What a move by McHale. He tried to go to Bird. He tried to go to Ainge, saw nothing, and took it to the hole.
When in doubt, shoot.
Now here comes Parrish to help double-team Dantley, and Detroit reverses it. Illegal defense against Boston. That's the first call. It's a warning. It's on McHale. It happened off that double-team.
Well, Kevin McHale got caught down in the lane area as Adrian Dantley was in isolation. Joe Dumars started to take it to the bucket, and he was in no man's land. That's an illegal D. The next one will be a technical.
4:45 to go first quarter. Boston by 5. Dantley blows right past McHale. No weak side help and the easy layup.
Well, you know what happened that time? Adrian Dantley has such a great spin move. McHale was playing him to spin, and he never spun. He just took it right to the line and took it right past him on the baseline.
He calls it his Dorothy Hamill move. Parrish with 3 men hanging on him. Robert Parrish. And Detroit now in a shooting streak of their own. Detroit has been successful on their last 5 shot attempts.
They're going to go a lot of isolation. Dantley and McHale, they feel like that's a good matchup for them.
Detroit goes over there, isolates, and then reverses it. Dumars from the perimeter. Detroit moving the ball beautifully on offense.
Adrian Dantley must give the ball up when he sees the double team. He'll get it back.
Boston by 3. Bird gets it down to McHale. The turnaround on the baseline. Yes. Both of these teams playing very well offensively in the first quarter.
It's been a well-played game. They've done a nice job.
Lambier from the perimeter. Got the roll. Lambier clenches his fist and clenched his teeth and was very pleased that he could get that perimeter shot to fall.
Bill Lambier is a tough competitor. There's not a whole lot of guys who come in here today with what he's got on his shoulders and play the way he has.
Very focused. Good pass. A little bit too much mustard on it. McHale couldn't handle into the seats. It'll be Detroit ball. First substitution of the game. Benny Johnson, who really heated up when these two teams left the Garden and went back to the Silverdome.
Well, he had a big ball game on Sunday. Look to see if they try to run something for him quickly, get him something off a double screen.
Isaiah Thomas.
That's an illegal. They're doubling the post.
They're wanting the call, and Jack Madden turned and said no. Lambier missing. Parrish kept it alive, and there's a loose ball foul. It's on Ricky Mahorn.
Well, Boston was very lucky that time. They were very lucky that time. Bird was doubling the post right there. That's an illegal defense. There's two guards playing the man without the ball. Bird sees it. He comes running out. But they were very lucky. That would have been a technical foul.
Boston leading by 3 with 3:05 to go in the first quarter. John Sally checking in for Detroit as Mahorn gets a rest.
Maybe I should explain myself about doubling the post. You are not allowed to double in this game unless the man has the ball. You cannot double team a man without the basketball. That's an illegal defense. So whether strong side, weak side, you cannot have two men playing a guy without the ball.
Parrish makes it 28-25, Boston by 5. Boston had jumped out to a 9-point lead, their biggest of the game, on a three-pointer by Danny Ainge. Detroit closed it to 5. It's been seesawing from 5 to 3 since. Nice lob to Dantley. Very nice pass from Isaiah Thomas, who's really playing under control in this game thus far. Well, Doug Collins.
They're doing a nice job mixing things up. They've gone to Dantley early in the post, and he's kicked it out. They've got some nice perimeter shots, so there's good balance in their offense right now.
Ainge for 3. The second three-pointer of the first quarter for Danny Ainge. Boy, are the Celtics glad he's back. Jerry Seasting played well in a substitute role, but he certainly, and he would be the first to admit it, is no Danny Ainge. There's double team again. They get it to Thomas. Over to Benny Johnson. Both teams shooting well.
Well, Adrian Dantley distorts your whole defense. Right now he's forcing them to come over and double team him. That leaves someone open. The good ball movement, and they have a good shooter waiting as the ball kicks around the horn.
Dennis Johnson. Got Benny Johnson in the air and rolled it home. It's 33-27 Boston. Lambier from the top of the key. Long rebound kept alive by Thomas. New shot clock. Isaiah's trapped down there. He's going to just put it up. Hook shot by Dennis Johnson won't foul, and they're going to call the foul on John Sally as Detroit takes a timeout with 1:34 to go in quarter number 1.
Let's look how they're isolating Adrian Dantley. You see him in the post. Strong side, weak side. Kevin McHale cannot be on the strong side of the floor here until Dantley receives the ball in the post. You're going to see him come over the floor. The ball comes in. Dantley is too slow getting there. It'll be a score for Adrian Dantley.
Couldn't get there for the help.
That's important in spacing the floor and knowing where people are. You get your shot blockers in isolation so they're too slow getting down there on the rotation.
Along with Dantley's 8 points, he's 2 for 2 from the free throw line as Dennis Johnson hits his first. Dennis Johnson slumping a bit in terms of scoring production the last couple of games. That certainly didn't look like a Dennis Johnson free throw. A line drive off the rim. It's a 7-point Boston advantage, 1:27 to go. First quarter. Benny Johnson got it down in no man's land and got back out of there. Shot clock to 10. Double team on Thomas. What a pass. Shot clock to 4. Vinnie Johnson. Both times Detroit's run it down, they've got the shot and made the basket, and it's 34-29 Boston. Minute to go in the first quarter.
And Vinnie Johnson has hit 2 quick jump shots, which means he's still hot from being in Detroit.
And Bird had spun away from Dantley. The whistle sounds, and it's on Vinnie Johnson fouling Dennis Johnson, but there could have been 2 fouls called there. A lot of free throws shot by Boston so far.
Now, I think an interesting point early in the ball game. Sally's been in the ball game. Vinnie Johnson's been in the ball game. So Chuck Daly's already on the bench with 2 reserves. Casey Jones has stayed with the starters the whole first period. I have a question for you, Bob. He's going to be in a little bit of a quandary. Does he come in with Seasting, who's normally his third guard, who started a little bit, or Sam Vincent, who played so well in Detroit? He's got a little bit of a decision he has to make. Sam Vincent played very well in Detroit.
Yeah, I'll say one thing. It's a good decision to have to make because he hasn't had that option previously. My guess is because of experience, he'd go with Seasting. We'll see if I'm right. What do you think?
Well, Sam Vincent was his leading scorer both games in Detroit at 18 points, and he has good physical size, strength, and quickness. So
sounds like you're leaning to Sam. Almost stolen by Isaiah Thomas.
I just think that we talked about it the last 2 games we were here, and I thought that Vincent was going to be a key in this series. And although they did not win in Detroit, it might be the difference of him gaining some more confidence and being ready to play here in a big ball game.
Certainly changing Boston's thinking about the future with the point guard. Sally comes down on Bird. Very aggressively, Sally came out there. Bird faked him right into him. That's the second on John Sally, the rookie from Georgia Tech, who's played very well and definitely brought the shot block back to the Detroit Pistons. He had more block shots this year than any Piston since the 78-79 season. And the other rookie, Dennis Rodman's about to check in as Dantley is. Well, I thought Dantley was going to get a rest. They're taking Sally out.
It'll be very interesting to watch here. Dennis Rodman is a very enthusiastic, hyper player, especially at home. Let's see how he reacts to his emotion here in Boston Garden. You have not seen as much as the rah-rah and the fist pumping here as you do at home. In fact, the last time that Dennis Rodman was here, remember he shot 2 air balls when he was at the free throw line.
Boston 38-29. That matches their largest lead. Darren Day becomes the first Celtic off the bench. He comes in for Kevin McHale. Darren Day has played well in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, the green team, the second team, has sometimes outplayed the white team, the first team for Boston. With 2 on the shot clock, Isaiah missing. Rebound, Dennis Johnson. Wide open for the shot from about 65 feet was Danny Ainge. He misses badly at the buzzer. At the end of the first quarter, Boston with a 9-point lead.
Isaiah Thomas showing what you do out of a double team. He's going to be double teamed in the corner. He's going to make a great pass cross court to Dantley. The rotation of the Celtic defense, he'll swing it to Vinnie Johnson here for the jump shot and the score. Let's watch. See Isaiah here, he's being double teamed, responding up. He makes a great cross court pass to Dantley. The Celtics rotate, DJ comes over to play him, and they swing it to Vinnie Johnson, who knocks in about the 15-foot jump shot.
And we're ready for the second quarter from Boston Garden. Boston 38, Detroit 29. Sam Vincent is the first guard off the bench in substitution, which is why Doug Collins is the coach, and I'm making millions as a broadcaster. Larry Bird missing from the left. Dantley with the rebound. So Boston's gone to 2 deep in their bench now. Rodman backs in against Bird and scores.
That's a big hook for the rookie right there. You'd like to see your rookie players get a layup or a dunk early in the game to get their confidence soaring. They miss a couple outside shots, they get a little tentative, especially when they've had some negative results here their last time in.
Tipped away from Bird. Parrish controls. Shot clock down to 9. Boston in some trouble with their offense here. Ainge, before he can attempt a 3-pointer, illegal defense called against Detroit. That was a good and bad news. And here comes Jerry Seasting in very quickly, and he'll get Danny Ainge. So Seasting and Sam Vincent come in. So Casey Jones solves the problem of those two by knowing that he has two good guards to come in as Dennis Johnson and Danny Ainge, the starters, rest. Boston by 7. Vincent traveled. When he stopped to shoot, he dragged his foot. 11 minutes to go. Quarter number 2 from Boston Garden. Lob in. And Darren Day tried to break it up as Dantley went for it.
Joe Dumars did not do a good job of reading the weak side that time. If he would have pump faked, he could have skipped it across court. Bird read that play all the way.
Detroit playing excellent man-to-man defense. Day from 14. Darren Day. Darren Day averaging about 16 minutes a game for this club. Only scoring a point or so per game. Dantley with the offensive foul. Boston leading by 9. Celtics ball.
Darren Day gets good defensive position. Shoulder leaning in from Adrian Dantley, and he forces the contact. An offensive foul is called, and right now Boston has been able to go to their bench. Sally back in the ball game for Adrian Dantley, but Boston has gone to their bench, and they're going to call a 20-second timeout. Bob, they have Sam Vincent, Jerry Seasting, Roberts, Day, and Larry Bird on the floor right now, so only one regular, as Casey Jones now has gone to his bench.
And Casey Jones showing some confidence in that bench as they played very well in both of those losses in Detroit. Better in some cases than the starters. And obviously he must be thinking here, Doug Collins, that he wants those starters as fresh as he can have them for the second half and for the third and fourth quarters.
Well, also, too, he has a luxury right now. He has a 9-point lead. So he has maybe 2 or 3 minutes that he can buy some time here. He can take a look at the subs, and if they do well, he'll stay with them. And if they struggle a little bit, he'll come back in with McHale, Parrish, and Dennis Johnson. So they have a little bit of a cushion right now, and you'd like to be able to use your subs in those kind of circumstances.
Detroit has 3 subs in the game right now, too, and that's Sally, Rodman, and Vinnie Johnson with Dumars and Mahorn. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Doug and I will be selecting the Miller Lite player of the game. Free throw foul disparity. 9 fouls have been called against Detroit so far, 5 against Boston. And in this period, neither team in the penalty. A foul hasn't been called yet. Bird on the double team. There's a mix-up between Seasting and Vincent. Bird gets it all the way across to Vincent. Shot clock to 7. Great feed to Larry Bird from Sam Vincent. Boston's biggest lead of 11. Vinnie Johnson found himself open, and he drills the line drive.
You just cannot fight over the top of the screen on Vinnie Johnson. You've got to trail him out, stay in his hip pocket. He'll step you back, and he's much too strong.
Bird isolated against Rodman. Now the double team. Bird feeds Roberts. What a great save by Roberts. With 4 on the shot clock, Vincent missing. Rodman rebounding. It'll be Detroit's ball. They kicked it. They'll get a new shot clock. In the middle of the Boston bench, you'll see Greg Kite with a mustache, and of course Bill Walton. Walton probably won't play in this series. McHale coming back into the game.
He'll probably give Larry Bird a rest. Larry Bird has not been out of the ball game.
John Sally, the post-up turnaround from about 10.
Well, they caught Boston on the switch that time. Seasting got caught on John Sally. Detroit did what you're supposed to do, dumping in and make him pay.
Rodman over the back of Bird for the foul.
Dennis Rodman is a very quick player. Bird using his strength here gets good low post position. Rodman's going to try to circle him, come around on the baseline, but Larry Bird using his body forced the rookie to foul him.
Darren Day found himself in trouble in the paint. Brings it back out again.
I was wrong. McHale came in for Roberts.
Sam Vincent showing confidence in his perimeter shooting.
You might see the emergence of Sam Vincent in this series. This might make this young kid's career.
Michigan State Sally, partially blocked by McHale. He'll get the foul call. Isaiah Thomas comes in for Dumars from Detroit. Dennis Johnson set to check back in for the Boston Celtics. He's getting Jerry Seasting. They're leaving Sam Vincent in there. Sam Vincent, who played, of course, at Michigan State, is very good friends with Isaiah Thomas. He's standing by him, both of them wearing number 11. As we told you before, they play summertime pickup ball at East Lansing, Magic Johnson's basketball camp, and they spend all summer talking about this series. John Sally, only a 65% free throw shooter, and you see why.
Bob, it's so important as a coach to have a gut feeling about certain people, and Sam Vincent was just coming off 2 big games. If KC had not shown him some confidence tonight during this kind of time, those 2 games might have been a negative. I think it's very important right now to give this kid some action.
Of course, he's the brother of Jay Vincent. Both of them outstanding pros. McHale in the paint over Rodman. Rattles it home. Kevin McHale. McHale now with 11 points. He leads all Boston scorers. Boston by 10. 8:18 to go. See it in the lower right of your screen in the second quarter. Vinnie Johnson missing this time. He used Mahorn for the screen. Day to Bird. Got everybody in the air. Missed the shot, didn't get the foul. Oh, this has been a whale of a ball game so far. Very well executed.
Isaiah Thomas has been very quiet offensively for the Pistons.
Vinnie Johnson missing, Bird rebounding.
That was great defense by Sam Vincent. He did not buy the fake.
Mahorn and McHale kind of stayed out at the other end. Sally rebounds but misses. Bird's back. Two-shot foul. Sam Vincent will go to the line. You mentioned Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas with only 4 points in this game.
We remember in game 1, Isaiah shot 6 for 24 in this spell and came back in game 2 with a big ball game. We had 3 flurries in a row when neither team got anything out of it. They both expended a lot of energy. And finally, Sam Vincent took the ball to the basket and drew the foul.
Mahorn just picked up his 3rd personal foul, a very significant one. Had to go to the bench. It's Rodman and Sally, Lambeer, Vinnie Johnson, Isaiah Thomas on the floor right now, and Adrian Dantley is set to check back in. Biggest lead of the game for Boston of 12. 7:19 to go, second quarter. Along with Doug Collins, Bob Neal at the Boston Garden. Vinnie Johnson, what a move, stripped away, and the foul is called on Darren Day. Dantley back in for Detroit. Parrish comes in for Boston as Day goes to the bench. Check that. McHale goes to the bench. Day just goes over to talk to his coach. Day and Vincent. Dennis Johnson, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish in there for the Celtics right now. Johnson gets them both. And off the bench, Vinnie Johnson with 8 points. He and Dantley lead the Detroit scoring. McHale leads Boston scorers with 11. Bird throws it into the arms of Isaiah Thomas. It's 2-on-2. And Vincent stripping it away but committing the foul.
Isaiah Thomas in the open court. He's driving strong. He's going to take it all the way. Sam Vincent retreating. Right there he reached in and Jess Kersey called the personal foul.
This is Charlie Neal. We're live at the Boston Garden, and coming up at halftime of the Prudential Sports Update, we'll talk with the grand old man of the Boston Celtics, Red Auerbach. We'll also spend some time with a Boston Celtic fan who's making his first trip to the Boston Garden and a Detroit fan who made the trek in from Detroit. We'll also look back at a great moment in NBA playoff history. Now let's go back to midcourt to Bob and Doug.
Thank you, Charlie Neal. 6:58 to go, second quarter. Boston leading by 10. Dantley wide open for the pass back from Lambeer. A mistake by the Boston defense.
You know, Adrian Dantley was deceptively quick. He got that ball and he turned the corner, one power dribble, and he got to the basket. And at 6'4", he still was able to put the ball in over the bigger Boston front line. That's a set play off the backboard.
What a beauty. Johnson bounces it to Bird.
That was a set play. Bird was fronted, and they bounced the ball off the backboard. A pass, that's something you work on. That's a great play. Houston used to run that all the time with the two big guys.
Now there came Parrish for the double team. Dantley takes it out. Day's playing Dantley right now. Dantley gives away about an inch on Day. Isaiah Thomas driving pass. Bird blocks it. The shot clock sounds, and that basket will count. Dantley hit it at the buzzer. Quickly down to Bird and out of bounds. And Jack Madden said, hold everything. I didn't. Yes, he did. Bring the ball back. It'll be Detroit ball on the other end because it was never inbounded. Never reached play. Boston leading by 8, playing a little bit out of kilter at the moment. And Ainge and San Vincent to the bench. Ainge in this ball game with 6 points. They came on 2 3-pointers. Vincent got 4 points while he was in there. 2 free throws and a hoop. Isaiah Thomas with the feed. Rodman with the basket.
Beautiful penetration by Isaiah. Got right into the teeth of the defense and then kicked it off. Great play.
Boston had led by 12. They lead now by 6. Dennis Johnson penetrating. Good defensive play by Rodman. Detroit playing on a hot streak at the moment. Tried to get it to Rodman, tipped away by the Boston inside people. Dennis Johnson's fouled as he drives past Lambeer. It'll be a 2-shot foul.
Watch Robert Parrish on this loose ball. Boy, he cracked an elbow up there at Dennis Rodman. Rodman better be glad that he wasn't too much closer. He would have lost a couple teeth. But I've never seen Chief really do that, so he must have got smacked on the loose ball.
Dennis Johnson, 5 out of 6 in this game tonight. And interestingly, Johnson came into this game 4 out of 5 for the first 4 games. He's getting to the line a lot more tonight. Much more effective member of the offense of this Boston unit.
Normally the tone of ball games are set at the free throw line, especially in the playoffs. It shows you that you're getting the loose balls, that you're more aggressive, that you're attacking the hoop. And right now, the Boston Celtics have had the big ones return for them at the free throw line.
Primarily, that's the reason they're leading by 8 points in terms of field goals and free throw attempts. That's been the difference. What a drive by Isaiah Thomas. Just saw slightest crack, and he was into the paint.
Well, he was isolated against Larry Bird, and Larry just not quick enough to control him down there.
Now the double team, Rodman and Johnson. And reverse to Ainge for a 3-pointer. Misses this one, but he's still 2 out of 3. Parrish has it tipped away by Vinnie Johnson. Has Dantley in the corner, who takes it inside. Adrian Dantley, a scoring machine when he has a chance to go to the hoop, and Dantley has 14. And all of a sudden, Boston's 12-point lead is cut to 4.
Detroit really hanging tough right now.
Playing excellent defense. Boston having a real problem getting into their offensive rotation. Bird sets a beautiful pick for Dennis Johnson. Missing from the perimeter. And Darren Day strips it away from Lambeer, creates the foul. And Doug, you said something at the opening of this ball game that Detroit would need and want to force Boston into a perimeter game if possible.
Well, you see Larry Bird set this screen, Bob, and it's exactly correct. He sets the screen on Vinny. Dennis Johnson does not hit the shot, and then the Pistons are able to rebound the ball, looking to get out and run with it. There's an isolation with Dantley, and they should be able to swing it around and get somebody an open shot. It's supposed to be Lambeer on the baseline.
And he did get it. He missed it. Darren Day kept it alive. Behind the back to Bird. Darren Day. Oh, my, oh, my. Well, that's one of the prettier plays you'll see in the 1987 playoffs. A timeout on the floor with 3:46 remaining in quarter number 2, and Darren Day from UCLA.
Here's that last play when Larry Bird was fronted in the post. He's going to be fronted in the post. They're going to throw the ball off the backboard right down the gut to him. He's going to get it and lay it in. Let's take a look at it. Low post position, Dennis Rodman fighting him for position. DJ off the glass. Larry Bird right there for the pass, and he scores. That's a set play, and they executed it to perfection.
Lambeer into Dantley. Past Parrish. Parrish gets him from behind. Dantley has been tremendously effective inside, 16 points. And Doug, only 2 free throws. This will be the 3rd free throw opportunity of this game for Adrian Dantley.
When Detroit went out to trade for Adrian Dantley, they did so with one purpose in mind. They wanted a player who could score in the low post. And they said, well, what about Bill Lambier? Well, he's a perimeter player. As is maybe Ricky Mahorn, who does not score that well in the low post. Adrian Dantley is their legitimate man to be able to get the ball inside, score, and draw a foul.
Traded Kent Benson and Kelly Tripucka for Adrian Dantley. There were many questions as to whether Dantley would fit in Detroit. And there were some problems with Dantley and Daly, frankly, at the beginning of the year, but they're very happy now, particularly because they're winning. They're on a roll, and Dantley's a big part of it. Illegal defense. It's called on Detroit, and this will be the technical, and there will be a shot. Larry Bird will take it.
They've called it on Adrian Dantley. They said he was 2 zones away from his man, so Bird will shoot the technical.
And it gets big right here, Doug, because Detroit had cut the Boston lead to 3. So that makes it 4, and Boston gets the ball. 3:21 remaining in the first half. It's been as good a game as we expected. The players are all business. We haven't seen anything in the way of fight tendencies or anything of that nature in this game so far. Don't get me wrong, they are intense. Bird from Dennis Johnson missing from the perimeter, and he's really struggling out there, Larry Bird. He's in a definite perimeter shooting slump during this series.
We're going to go one-on-one. Adrian Dantley with Darren Day watching. He likes to spin.
Parrish came to help him. That gave him the reverse and the opportunity for the drive and the feed. Isaiah Thomas to Rodman.
They're really running that play well. Dantley's finding the double team. He's swinging it quickly, and then Thomas driving it right through the defense and spotting the Rodman. That's twice he's got Rodman layups off that play.
Now Bird with 15 on the shot clock. All the way to Ainge from the baseline. Big bucket by Danny Ainge, 4-2. The lead had been cut to 2. Now Boston by 4. Boston's biggest lead has been 12 in this first half. 2:22 remaining.
Look for Vinnie Johnson coming off the screen for a jump shot.
There he comes. He gets the ball. Day's on him.
He wants it. He's going to take it and look for his shot.
Shot clock to 9. Lambeer rattles it around. As you pointed out in games 1 and 2, though, when Vinnie Johnson can't shoot that shot in rhythm and has to put it on the floor, he's not as effective.
Not like Dale Ellis out in Seattle. When you force him to put it on the floor, it disrupts his timing.
Bird on the baseline, double teams, gets it to Johnson. Shot clock to 9. Back to Bird again. 3 seconds. I believe it was Darren Day. Turnover. Detroit gets the ball. Boston leading by 4. 1:40 to go, second quarter. Boston with 8 turnovers in the first half.
Again, isolating Dantley at the top against Day. He's going to try to force the double team and look to swing it.
To Lambeer. That's the shot Detroit wants, but Lambier's got to hit it. He hit it in Detroit. He's not been so effective here at the Garden. Down to Parrish. Inside, over the double team. He's fouled. Looked like Dennis Rodman got him, and that's who gets the foul, is Dennis Rodman.
Boy, Larry Bird really working hard off the ball. He's bumping Bird. You see all the contact. Bird gets himself out on the wing. The ball is dumped into Parrish, and then Rodman coming over to try to give help. Hits Robert Parrish on the hand, and Robert Parrish goes to the free throw line.
Bill Walton not able to give Robert Parrish any rest. He tried to play, got about a minute of action. in the playoff series against Milwaukee. Had to go back to the bench. His ankle is just not getting it in. The foul is going to be on Detroit. Blocking foul. And it's on Dennis Rodman. McHale is not in the game right now, Doug Collins. He's got some foul problems.
Well, he's been on the bench for a long time.
Dennis Johnson doesn't get the roll. Lambeer gets the rebound. Boston by 5, less than a minute to go in the half. It was taken away by Darren Day. Parrish shot it off rhythm, and Detroit keeps dodging the Boston bullet. Boston had a chance to get this lead about to 10, but Detroit just hung in there. They come back, and the lead has been cut now to 3.
Robert Parrish was very tentative jumping off that left ankle that time. You could see him. He did not take it. Normally he would try to dunk that ball. He very gingerly tried to shoot that shot.
Nice play by Darren Day. It doesn't fall. The tip by Parrish. He can't get it to fall, and Parrish takes Lambeer to the ground with a right forearm.
The security guards are out on the floor right now, too.
Well, they had said it was only a matter of time till somebody did this.
Well, let's watch. We see a left elbow there. Does Parrish get him in the left? I mean, whoa, boy. I couldn't see what. Underneath the basket here, Lambeer and Parrish going for the rebound, and Robert Parrish just two right left to the face of Bill Lambeer. Let's see what happens here now. What's going to be the call?
Well, Lambeer was fined $5,000 for his action against Bird in Detroit. Bird fined $2,000. And a lot of people have said around the league that sooner or later, because of Lambeer's physical reputation, that sooner or later somebody was going to clobber him. Whether it's deserved or not is for somebody else to judge. Darren Day picks up a foul, and we understand that Robert Parrish is not going to be ejected. That's what my information says. He is still on the floor.
Now, I mean, something had to be called on Robert Parrish. That's got to be a punching foul or something. I don't know what the deal is here, but Robert Parrish just hit him in the face twice. There's got to be something. That's got to be more than just a foul on Darren Day. And I'm not trying to choose sides, but watching the game and watching the replay, that was 2 punches to the face.
It is really hard to believe, considering what has happened in the history of this series, that flagrant forearm by Robert Parrish, whether it was deserved or not, is beside the point for what I'm saying. Parrish does not even get called for a foul. The foul was called on Day prior to that play.
That was not
Thomas
right.
shoots.
That was not right. Lambeer should have shot 2 free throws. There should have been a technical, should be a punching foul, something, but there had to be something called. It's like it never even occurred. That's not right.
Well, we'll keep our eyes on these two to see what will happen. Parrish doesn't get the bounce. Rebound, Dantley. Isaiah throwing it. He was aware of the clock. Dantley wasn't. At the end of the half, and oh, what a half it's been. Lambeer and Parrish walking out beside each other over there. We'll keep our eyes on them. You see they're like one right in front of the other. Now they're separated. I'd hate to be the man in the middle. We'll be back here to Boston Garden with Charlie Neal right after this. There are the first half statistics, and the big disparity in free throws made, 10 more for the Boston Celtics. But look at this. Detroit shooting 55%, the Celtics shooting 53%. The front lines are about even Steven. This game is a 2-point Boston lead, and it is going to really get down to it. This is about as even as these two teams can be.
I think that the key could be fatigue. As the game winds down, Larry Bird played all 24 minutes. Parrish played 21. Dennis Johnson played 21. The only guy who did not play his normal minutes in that first half was Kevin McHale, and he picked up 3 fouls, so he had to sit down. So he could be fresh in the second half, and that could be a difference.
Might mention that Isaiah Thomas, Lambeer, and Dantley played 21 of the 24 minutes. for the Detroit Pistons. We're underway. Third quarter, game 5. Eastern Conference Championship Series. They're tied at 2. Ainge, the great move to the hoop, and the tip in by McHale, but they call basket interference. It will not count.
That ball was going to go in. It looked like the English of the ball was spinning that ball back into the basket, and Kevin McHale with those long arms reached up and tapped it in the basket with the ball still on the cylinder, so the shot was negated.
Well, Detroit scored the first basket of this game. It's been their only lead. Lane Beer scored on a layup. Let's see if they can tie on the first basket of the second half. Dumars missing badly. McHale to Ainge, and the Celtics getting back slowly. Parrish very slowly getting back. McHale with the reverse, and he'll go to the line for a three-point opportunity. Robert Parrish did not even get to the timeline. His ankle has to be bothering him.
I think he's going to pick and choose his spots when he runs, but Danny Ainge got bailed out here. He makes a move, he gets in the lane. He has no place to go, but his athletic ability helped him find Kevin McHale. That's playing with each other for 5 or 6 years. You know where to look for a certain guy on the floor. More importantly, it's a three-point play and a third foul on Bill Laimbeer.
So Boston by 5 after Detroit had a chance to tie it. Isaiah Thomas splits the two defenders, misses the shot attempt, and Robert Parrish is fouled as he gets the rebound, and he's fouled by Isaiah Thomas.
Frustration foul, Isaiah Thomas. He missed the tough shot, then he went to try to get it back. Isaiah shot 3 for 8 in the first half, but he did have 7 assists, so he got his team some easy baskets. The one thing with Isaiah, he does not want to get too much where he feels like he has to take the game over by himself.
Dennis Johnson on the drive and the lay-in. The first effective penetrating move by Dennis Johnson in this game. In games 1 and 2, Dennis Johnson made a living driving the lane.
They're going to run isolation for Bentley. They're going to try to let him take the ball to the basket against Larry Bird. Maybe draw a foul.
Here he comes. Can't get the shot off. McHale gets it to Bird. It's a Boston break. They've got the numbers. Bird. And Boston leads by 9. In a minute and a half, Boston has increased their lead by 7 points in 1 minute and 30 seconds. A 20-second Detroit timeout.
Boston wants to jump on you in the first period and to start the third period. Ironically, that's exactly the same score that Detroit led by in the third quarter of game 2, 65-56, when they had to call it, when Boston had to call a timeout. But Bird, under control, takes the ball to the baseline, little feathery jump shot to put his team up 9. But so many times what happens, you come out of that locker room in the third quarter in Boston Garden, they hit you with the surge, and you have to play uphill. Right now, Detroit has got to get a good shot, Bob. The 3 times they've come down the floor in this period, they've gotten bad shots.
Detroit has failed to score in this half in a minute and a half. Bird with 15 in the game right now. There's a good shot, but Thomas missed it. Boston runs.
Got to get up on Bird. He'll look to shoot a 3. He'll try to throw the arrow right through your heart.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Dantley out on Bird. 5 seconds on the clock. Johnson knows it. He shoots it and misses it. Boston couldn't get anything going that time. Detroit still hasn't scored in over 2 minutes of the second half.
They're running a lot of isolations right now. Not good ball movement. Isaiah got that one to go, but they're doing a lot of standing around right now. When they have their success in that second period, they open the floor up and they move the ball very well.
Only 9 points for Isaiah Thomas. He had 7 at the half. He has 7 assists. Parrish gets the open Johnson. They reverse it to Ainge. Here's a three-pointer. Bird tipped it to McHale.
What a presence of mind. What a great play. With his left hand, tips it to Kevin McHale for a layup. Great play.
Boston by 9. 9 minutes to go, third quarter. Ainge behind the back. Here comes Benny Johnson. Ainge finger rolls it home. Boston goes up by 11. A 9-point, a 9-2 Boston run in a little over 3 minutes of this second half. Detroit gets a full timeout now. 8:51 to go in the third quarter.
Great players make great plays. The shot's going to come from the corner. Bad timing. The ball bounces. Larry Bird comes over, tips it to Kevin McHale for a layup. Let's watch it.
And we're back to live action. And Mahorn gets the basket. 69-60 Boston. 8:33 to go, third quarter. Bird. Not getting the perimeter shot again. 9-point lead. Isaiah Thomas penetrating. Gets it over everybody. He's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. And Isaiah Thomas starting to take the ball to the hoop now. If he gets untracked here, it'll be problems for Boston. If he doesn't, Doug, it'll be problems for Detroit. And by that I mean sometimes Isaiah can get a little bit out of control. And we'll see what happens. Baseball coming up next on tape delay. Braves and Cardinals.
You know, that was a very good timeout by Chuck Daly, though. Anytime you call a timeout, you'd like to change the rhythm and the momentum of the game. They came out, they got a nice set play, they got a score, they got a defensive stand, they came out, and Isaiah got to the line. He makes 2 free throws, so a little 4-0 spurt after timeout. That's the importance of being able to settle your guys down, make sure you start executing.
Isaiah Thomas picks up the foul as Ainge saw him off balance a little bit and took the body to him.
Danny Ainge is deceptively quick for a 6'5 player, and Isaiah just couldn't quite get there, and he bumps him. So important to have Danny Ainge on this team. He's an experienced player. He's also a very gutty player. He'll spot up and shoot the 3. He's not afraid to take a big shot when the ball is rotating on the perimeter.
Lambeer and McHale fighting for position on the inbound play. Official Jess Kersey had to go in there to separate them. They get it to McHale. The fall away goes. Boston by 9. 8 minutes to go, third quarter. There's Parrish doing what he does best.
That's the shot that Dantley hit in Detroit right there. That's what made him so tough to defend against. Because when he makes that set shot, you've got to come out and play him, and now he can drive it around you.
Dantley with 19. Ainge, double team. Offensive foul.
That's 4 on Kevin McHale. That is a big, big foul right there.
McHale, the first player with 4 in the game.
Now, does KC go to his bench, or does he leave McHale on the floor with 4 fouls? This is a big timeout for KC Jones.
Keep our eye on that as Detroit trailing by 7.
They're going to go right to Mahorn. That could be the 5th foul on McHale. That's what
it's on McHale. That's 5. Good call, Doug Collins. Now KC Jones has no other option but to go to the bench. Madden over to talk to the scorer's table. Let's see what happens here. Kite is going to check in.
Well, Kevin McHale ruled we're bumping him in the back. 5th foul. Kite will come in the ball game. Well, that is big, big trouble there for the Boston Celtics, because Kevin McHale is probably the premier low-post player in basketball at the power forward position.
McHale has 18 points and 6 rebounds, and Doug, maybe it's easy to second guess now. Maybe, in fact, KC should have gotten McHale out of there with the 4th foul. Easy to say now. Dantley with 2 perimeter shots, and it is a 5-point game. Now the foul on Joe Dumars. Kersey and Madden may be calling this very closely in the second half. Remember the altercation just prior to halftime with Parrish and Lambeer. Lambeer had gotten an elbow up high, but then Parrish with a forearm decked Lambeer. No foul was called. Here's Bird down low.
Offensive foul. Larry Bird. Larry Bird looked to try to turn the corner. Adrian Dantley is not a shot blocker, Bob, so the only thing he's going to do is play position defense on you, so that very seldom will you get him out of position and be able to use your shoulder on him. He's going to stay down on the floor and try to strip you as you go up with the ball.
Dantley and Lambeer with a 2-man game.
See if Adrian wants to shoot this shot.
Wants to drive on Bird. He's really feeling it. Lambeer with the offside rebound. And the foul on Boston.
KC Jones might be the timeout here. The Celtics get a little bit out of sync. Lambeer in excellent offensive rebound position, as is Rick Mahorn. You see DJ is stuck behind him. Lambier tried to quick shoot it, couldn't get it to go down, and Mahorn then with a follow-up, and they ruled Bill Lambier will have 2 shots.
Greg Kite gets the foul. McHale on the bench with 5 Boston fouls. Lambier has 10 points in the game, 8 rebounds, 3 assists.
Chuck Daly's timeout completely turned around the fortunes of his ball club. They were down 11. Things were sinking on them. And all of a sudden now they've climbed back to a 4-point game.
Dumar's all over Dennis Johnson. We'll keep an eye on that matchup also. Oh, it has become an intense one. We expected no less. Shot clock to 10 for Boston. Leading by 4. Bird to Parrish. Got him airborne, missed the layup. Foul on Kite. Two quick fouls on Greg Kite.
They got the ball inside to Robert Parrish. He couldn't get it to go. Kite battling on the boards. A loose ball foul over the top. And Detroit now should really look to attack the basket, as they will be in the penalty the rest of the way, so they'll be shooting free throws.
Horn misses the hook shot.
Not a good shot there. It was a forced running hook shot. You want to make something go towards the basket.
Boston by 4. They've led by as much as 12. Detroit led on the opening basket only. Bird missing from the perimeter. Has not hit one from outside of 15 tonight. Lambier from 18. Cans it.
I will tell you one thing. You got to give Bill Lambier a lot of credit. You might not like him, the way he plays or anything, but I will tell you one thing. The guy's got courage. He's come into Boston Garden, and he's playing his head off right now.
And K.C. Jones does get a timeout as Boston's lead is whittled to 2 with 5:25 to go in the third quarter. Lambier has 12. Kevin McHale out of the ball game. 5 fouls, and you see he had been becoming a point. He leads all Boston scorers.
Well, he got in early foul trouble. First half only played 13 minutes. He came out, picked up his 4th. Detroit ran down and put him in the post against Mahorn. He was immediately called for his 5th. Now he's going to have to set the whole rest of this third period, which is almost 5.5 minutes. And then he's going to come back and have to try to play the whole 4th period with 5 fouls. It's going to be tough.
K.C. Jones got Kite out of there. He picked up 2 quick fouls and put Day in. So Boston in with a very small lineup. Bird missing again. Isaiah Thomas off the glass. Isaiah's heating up here in this half. Thomas with 13, had 7 at the half. Parrish against Lambier. Dumars did a great job of cutting off the release pass. Parrish wanted to hit Johnson, so he had to turn around and hit the post-up jump shot. Boston by 2. Detroit can tie on this possession. Lambier hooking over Bird and missing.
Lambier is not a good low post player, and you can see he's uncomfortable down there, even against the smaller Larry Bird.
Bird gets a 3-pointer. Bird can't hit, throw the ball in the ocean for about 4 possessions. Then he goes down and gets a big one as Dantley fouls him, and he gets a 3-point opportunity.
Well, the difference was he took it into about 12 feet. And right now, Larry Bird is not making his perimeter shot, but when he gets inside about 12, 13 feet, and he's able to shoot the ball up over Adrian Dantley, I think you might see them go more into the post against him rather than have him rely on his perimeter outside shooting.
Particularly with Kevin McHale out of the ballgame. Bird's the second biggest Boston player in there. This program authorized under rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited. 4:20 to go, third quarter. Boston by 5. That foul was on Darren Day, by the way. Detroit's bench has outscored Boston's bench in this game 17-6. Down the stretch, that'll become even more significant. We haven't seen much of Sally, Rodman, Vinnie Johnson for Detroit so far.
This is a game where you might not see a whole lot of in the second half, maybe to give the veterans a blow. There's Bird in the post again.
With a left hand, and Doug Collins, you called it. They've posted Bird down there, and here's where Boston's going to have trouble matching up on Larry Bird.
They're going to try to force Chuck Daly's hands to get Dantley out of the ball game, and now come in probably with Rodman. So now the tables are turned. Dantley, the offensive player for Detroit, is going to be forced out of the ball game.
Mahorn picked up the fourth. They're going to sit him down and leave Dantley in, but your point is still the same, Doug. No question in my mind, Rodman will go to Bird defensively.
And Adrian Dantley will go to Darren Day.
So 2 trips, 6 points for Larry Bird. And Boston builds the lead to 6.
Bird can beat you in so many ways. When the outside shot is not falling, he can take you into the post.
Bird has 21 in the game. Dantley 23. They're the 2 top scorers. Off the double team, Day stripped it away, and now a jump ball. Jess Kersey called it. He was right by it at the baseline. It'll be jumped up at the Detroit basket.
Darren Day made a terrific double team. Look at the double team. Darren Day, and here comes Bird. Both going real strong, hands up. Day puts the ball clean, and then the jump ball as Adrian Dantley reaches back in as Danny Ainge will take a little bit of a rest, and Sam Vincent will check into the game. We're playing the backcourt with Dennis Johnson.
Big jump ball situation here for the third quarter. It's out of bounds. Neither official saw it. They're going to... Jack Madden and Kersey decided it belongs to Detroit. And I believe that call was correct. I think it was knocked out of bounds by Dennis Johnson. Boston by 6, 3:49 to go in the third. Detroit ball, Sally in the ball game. And now Rodman goes out.
Well, Dennis Rodman didn't last very long. He's only in for about 30 seconds.
Sam Vincent on Isaiah Thomas.
They run screen and roll to Isaiah Lambier. Lambier will roll out for the jump shot.
There it is. And get it.
That's that 15 play you got to defend against. That is so hard to defend against because Lambier is actually a forward. He rolls out and shoots the ball. He doesn't look to post it.
Some way to keep Lambier from rolling is about the only way to defend it.
You got to hold on to him, not let him get out of there.
4-point Boston lead.
Watch Bird try to draw the foul. He's going to be smart and try to take it right inside where he can get fouled.
Dennis Johnson over the 7-footer John Sally. Big bucket by Dennis Johnson, who has 15. What a game. Boston by 6. 3 minutes to go in the quarter. Shot clock to 10. Dantley isolated on Day. There's that spin. The turnaround. Dantley. Oh, what a game he's having. How'd you like to be the officials in this ballgame? You want to talk about pressure. At the beginning of the telecast, I asked you about pressure. I think the third option could have been Jess Kersey and Jack Madden.
No, I sure wouldn't. I wouldn't want to be official in a Pee Wee game.
Boston by 4, 2:30 to go in the quarter. And the foul against Detroit, John Sally. Sally picks up his third. Now Dumar's out. We have Vinnie Johnson into the ball game. So let's check that Detroit lineup. Lambier, Sally, and Dantley are up front. Thomas and Vinnie Johnson in the backcourt.
And the toughest thing about playing Larry Bird, especially when you're in the penalty, is you try to deny him the ball. And you got to be concerned that he's so smart at drawing contact that he'll draw the contact and he'll get you to the free throw line. He is very smart when he baits you into fouling. And if you're not in the penalty, he doesn't use you as much as when you can get to the free throw line.
Bird 7 out of 7 from the line in this game. Boston 83-77, 83-79. Lead to 4. Vincent a little out of control. Thomas all over it.
I've ever seen a guy come off the bench like Vinnie Johnson, have no sweat breaking or anything else, and still shoot the ball.
On a drive by Vincent, but he misses the layup. Sally gets the loose ball. Detroit can cut it to 2 with 2 minutes to go in the quarter.
There's that screen roll again. This time Vinnie takes it to the hoop.
Blocked, Parrish, but then Sally comes back with the jam. The rookie, Shows some poise there. Gets it jammed right in his face, and he comes right back with it.
This is a great game.
Oh, my. Detroit has not won in this building since 1982. Bird loses it out of bounds. He is furious. No call on that one, but Detroit gets the ball and has a chance to tie.
They're going to run screen roll again with Lambier. Let's see how they play it. He'll roll out and look to shoot the jump shot.
There it is. He's open. He misses it. Day got the ball. A loose ball foul is called on Detroit. It's on Sally.
Screen roll. Oh, there's the play a while ago. John Sally taking to the basket. Great block by Parrish, but Sally recovers and goes up strong and dunks the basketball.
Sally goes out of the ball game right now. There's no question that that young man who has 4 fouls, if he keeps his act together, if he keeps progressing and all the things that are so difficult for these pro players, can be a great. I mean, he's got shot blocking ability, scoring ability, quick, runs the court.
Well, what you do is, as you mature as a player and you've been in the league for a while, you channel that emotion and that energy into being productive for you all the time.
Big misses. Day goes 0 for 2 from the line. Detroit has another chance to tie with 1:23 remaining in the third quarter.
We're seeing a Celtic team right now that is playing on determination and guts, because this Detroit team is making a run at them right now, and they've been able to tie, but they've never been able to take the lead.
If you go 8 deep right now with Boston, you got to think Detroit has the talent edge, not necessarily the experience or the tradition. And Vinnie Johnson, unconscious jumper. Again, coming off the dribble that time, but definitely in his rhythm. And it's tied at 83.
They want Bird in the post against Rodman.
Dennis Johnson got his own rebound, kept alive. Here's Sam Vinson. It's blocked by Lambier, controlled by Dennis Johnson. What poise he's showing. He takes it right back in there. Out of bounds, Detroit ball. Great Detroit defense. Check that. Kersey says it was out of bounds and it belonged to Boston on the baseline.
These referees are working hard. Every shot is contested. There's body contact on every play. These guys are earning their money tonight.
New 24-second clock. Bird great on these inbound passes. Let's see what happens. Into Parrish, tipped away. Dantley. Thomas.
Can they take the lead?
Vinnie Johnson, and Detroit has the lead for the first time since they led 2-0. 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Bird against Rodman. Doesn't get the three-point opportunity. Draws another foul, however. And it is Rodman's foul. Rodman has 4. Sally has 4. Mahorn has 4 for Detroit. Those are significant numbers. Only one player really in significant foul trouble for, make that 2, for Boston. McHale has 5, and Day has 4. Vinnie Johnson limping off the floor.
It looked like he banged his knee on that last fast break as he dished off. I think he maybe banged knees with a player.
Bird perfect from the free throw line tonight. That's his 8th free throw. He has 24 points. Dantley leads all scorers with 25. Fred Roberts in for Parrish. Last 26 seconds of the third quarter.
Well, Detroit should try to run it down and get the last shot. A lot of times they try to isolate high outside with Isaiah Thomas. Let him handle the ball on the dribble. Maybe you look to penetrate, or they need to drive the ball to the basket. Or Bill Lambier likes to step up and set that screen roll. So let's see what they like to do here.
And Detroit take the lead going out of the third quarter. They've packed ice on the left ankle of Vinnie Johnson. He's on the bench.
Be aware that Isaiah does not have the ball right now, but he's going to try to come off the screen and get the ball.
Traveling call on Lambier. I see an ice towel wrapped on the ankle and an ice bag on the knee of Vinnie Johnson. So it could be his knee or his ankle. At the buzzer, Johnson misses.
They call a foul.
Hold it, there's a foul. There is 1 second remaining. The game clock did not go off. It's down to 1 second, and Dantley committed the foul. That's a big one. And now he has 4. So 4 Detroit players. Dantley, Mahorn, Rodman, and Sally with 4 fouls. McHale with 5 for Boston.
I tell you what happened. The last possession, Detroit went for a shot a little bit too soon. And as a result, they gave Boston the last opportunity to come down and score. And we played a wild and woolly third period. And a DJ Kansas free throw You realize that both teams played neck and neck, that the score would actually be even in the third period. With all that action, Boston would still have a 2-point lead, and McHale has been on the bench most of the time.
Well, he didn't can the free throw. Dennis Johnson uncharacteristically missing the free throw. Boston leads by 1, 86-85. Back for the final 12 in Game 5 right after this. 12 minutes of basketball remaining. Boston 86, Detroit 85. What a playoff series. Here's how Vinnie Johnson injured, I think, his knee, Doug.
Yeah, he banged the knee right there with Isaiah Thomas or Vincent, it looked like, as they came through. And they cannot have Vinnie out of the ballgame in the fourth period. He's their offense coming off those screens down the crunch time. And right now he's still limping. So it'll be interesting to see whether he'll be able to come back or not.
He also stepped on another player's foot, and his ankle's not feeling all that great either. But the significant problem seems to be his knee. You see the ice is off of it, and we'll just wait and see. If it tightens up, swells up.
Well, the longer he sits there, the longer that it's going to tighten up on him. So I'm sure that if Chuck Daly can get him in the ball game quickly, he'd like to do so.
When do you put, as you look at the foul trouble, when do you put Kevin McHale back in the game?
I think that the score will dictate that. If Boston starts to slip a little bit here and Detroit makes a run, you've got to make your move and you've got to bring him back in. If they're able to stay at this cushion, maybe 4 or 5 point ball game, you bring him back in, maybe 6, 7 minutes to go. But you don't get a little any premature and put him out there before you feel it slipping away from you.
Dumars, now he's got a mismatch. Let's see where it is. It's Sally against Dennis Johnson, but they didn't get it to him. You saw the statistic a minute ago about the front line scoring. Doug told you it would be the significant key to the game, and it's a 1-point game, and Boston's front line has outscored Detroit's by 2, so it's gone right as Doug pointed out. The front line, the forwards, how they score downside. Bird still missing from outside. Roberts misses the tip in.
Well, Detroit wants to push the tempo right now. Any defensive rebound, they'd like to switch it up. Don't let Boston get there. That's the kind of shot you want right there.
Lambier had it, couldn't get it. So Lambier misses following the Bird miss. Both of them had a chance to give their teams a lift there and couldn't do it. Boston continues to lead by 1, 11 minutes to go in this ball game.
Looks for Mr. Bird. Watch him. He's going to slide around. He'll come off the screen, and you've got to be aware of him at all times.
He came off the screen, but they get it to Seasting. And he misses the perimeter jumper. Seasting, Roberts, Dennis Johnson, Day, and Bird in there for Boston right now. Here's Lambier from the outside again. Missing again. Bird rebounded. And he's fouled. No.
They're going to call on Darren Day. Loose ball foul, Darren Day against Dennis Rodman.
Parrish is checking back in. Vinnie Johnson comes back in, running around in midcourt to try to loosen his knee up.
You know, the point I made a while ago about Detroit wanting to push the ball. The reason you want to do that is you want to attack Boston's defense before they can get back and get set. Parrish against the ankle. You want to make sure that they are not being able to get back there and block shots. That's when they're at their toughest. It's when that defense sags and sinks and forces you to take tough shots.
Here's a chance to see what the benches for both teams can do. Sally misses badly on the jump hook over Bird. Seasting and Day off the bench for Boston. Vinnie Johnson, Sally.
Much Bird on the screen.
And Rodman for Detroit. Bird just threw that one up. Now Detroit running.
Oh my, what a move by Dennis Rodman.
Tremendous athlete. His athletic ability is, the potential in that body is incredible. And Detroit takes a 1-point lead.
You know, Larry Bird is not rested at all in this whole ball game. Will he be able to rest at all now with McHale having foul problems?
You have to think no. Parrish over Rodman. Detroit by 1. That's the biggest Detroit lead since the opening lead of 2. Detroit could build their biggest lead of 3 should they score here. 9:46 remaining in the game. Mahorn
walking.
Travel. Big turnover. Detroit with 10 turnovers. Boston has 15.
Kevin McHale is going to come in the ball game. Let's see if he comes in for Larry Bird to give Larry Bird a couple minutes rest.
Day is going to check out.
They're not going to allow McHale to check in. They said he was not at the scorer's table.
So Day gets back onto the floor until the next opportunity. We have 9:39 remaining in this game. It is a 1-point Detroit lead. Boston can reclaim it on this possession. Shot clock gets down to 10. Into Parrish. He's effective there. Misses again.
Rodman better hold this out. Made a good move while ago.
Benny Johnson. Dennis Johnson against Mahorn. Sally with the foul. That'll be his 5th. Team foul situation will become very important here. Right now it's not significant for either team. Boston with 1 team foul. Detroit with 1 team foul.
Both teams firing blanks in this 4th period. 1 for 6 for Detroit, 0 for 5 for Boston. So both teams have had an opportunity to maybe make a move, and neither team can put it in the ocean right now.
Lane Beer 6 for 17. He's out of the ball game right now. McHale off the double team to Johnson.
McHale should be fresh. If anybody on the floor, he should be fresh.
Johnson drives around Mahorn, and Mahorn picks up his 5th foul. So now the foul's becoming significant for Mahorn as he has 5. Sally has 5 for Detroit. McHale and Day with 5 for Boston. Lane Beer checking back in. Check that Detroit lineup for you. Rodman, Benny Johnson, Isaiah Thomas, Lane Beer, and Sally, the Detroit lineup.
We got to go into McHale right now. He's fresh. He wants the basketball.
Lane Beer with only 3 fouls. Parrish over Sally. Parrish has not been effective of recent, but he collects the loose ball, new shot clock. Boston with a new opportunity to regain the lead.
Kevin McHale should be begging for that ball right now.
Timeout, Boston. K.C. Jones didn't like also Doug Collins, what he was seeing on the floor in terms of Boston offense, and he takes a timeout here with 8:32 to go in the game. Detroit continues to lead by 1. Basketball is alive and well at the Boston Garden. Baseball will be coming your way. One of the hottest teams in the National League, and the Atlanta Braves, who haven't been slouches themselves lately, on tape delay tonight. And Doyle Alexander returns to the Braves, faces Bob Porsche. And I want to remind you that we'll be covering the NBA Draft Monday, June 22nd, live, 1:05 Eastern Standard Time from New York City. So join us for that. I'll be there for the NBA Draft.
Well, do me a favor. Send me 2 studs to Chicago for me next year. That's the least thing you can do for me.
I'll pick some for you. I can tell. I've been trying to tell you how to coach your team for the last 2 weeks. Dennis Johnson missing from the perimeter.
Well, they've really gone cold. They've missed their last 12 shots.
Boston 0 for their last 12.
And
that's incredible.
What? Detroit has only been able to get a 1-point lead out of this.
Look at the football movement. And
I tell you what, Rodman showed me something. His last ball game was when he wanted to forget in here. He's hit some big buckets, and right now he is chasing Larry Bird all over the floor, really forcing him to work.
You see the 0 for 7 for Boston. The 0 for 12 goes back to 5 shots in the 3rd quarter. Bird fades away and hits one from about 15. Detroit still leading by 1. At the Garden, Detroit hasn't won here in 5 years. This series is tied at 2. Doug and I were talking at the timeout how intense this game is. Benny Johnson on a great drive, and Parrish goes down with his ankle.
Man, I tell you, Boston is really beat up right now. They're going to have to take a 20-second timeout. Benny Johnson turned the corner on the screen roll. Parrish went up to try to block it, and right now he is in a lot of pain.
Can put no pressure on that left ankle.
Man, oh man.
Ray Melchiori out there helping him off the floor.
Let's take a look at it right here. Robert Parrish coming over. He's trying to give up. Watch his left ankle. Oh, he steps on John Sally's foot. I tell you, what a bad break. You know, it's amazing, Bob, when you have something that bothers you, it seems like every time you turn around, you bang it. You know, you have a sore thumb. It seems like every time you want to open a car door or something, you hit it. But
Ray Melchiori will be working on that left ankle of Robert Parrish. Let's see what...
Robert Parrish, I guarantee you, is going to lace that sneaker up as tight as he can lace it up. And if he has to drag himself through the last 7-19, he'll be out here. He's a vicious competitor who's never gotten enough credit for being the player that he is in this league.
7:19 to go in this ball game. Detroit 91, Boston 88. Can the Pistons hang on at Boston Garden? They've got a great opportunity with McHale in foul trouble, Parrish injured and out of the game. Ainge penetrating, feeding to Dennis Johnson. Shot clock to 6. Johnson in the paint, blocked by Sally. He's called for a travel first. Detroit ball.
How about Detroit right now? They've got 2 rookies on the floor, Sally and Rodman. Crunch time in Boston Garden.
16 Boston turnovers, Doug. Lane Beer gets it to Isaiah Thomas. That one could have been a big nail. Ainge.
Air ball.
John Sally with a nice feed to Dennis Rodman, the 2-hand jam, and all of a sudden it is a 5-point Detroit lead, their biggest of the ball game, and Casey Jones just looked forlornly at his bench, as though I need to make a change here, but I have nobody to use.
You know, McHale has not taken a shot since he's come in.
He's fouled by Isaiah Thomas.
Kevin McHale spent all that time on the bench. He's the freshest guy Boston has on the floor, and they have not looked to get the ball inside to him.
Look at this. Robert Parrish, who went out and couldn't walk, is back just as you predicted.
He can bet.
He'll be playing in pain. Fred Roberts sits down. It's a 5-point Detroit lead, 6:21 remaining. Trying to go to McHale. They do.
That's who they got to go to right there. They're really doubling well down on him.
Ainge. Look at Dennis Johnson. He kept that alive. Bird's open. McHale with the pass. And the foul. Let's check carefully to see who this foul is on.
Kevin McHale spotting Larry Bird underneath. Right here, Rodman makes a rookie mistake. When he hears the whistle, he should have grabbed him. He let him finish the shot. And when you hear that whistle, Bob, you got to grab him. You can't let him get 3.
Now Rodman with 5.
Let him get 2, but don't let him get 3.
Bird has 3'd him to death here. That was another 3-point. That's 4 3-point conversions for Larry Bird at the free throw line. And now Detroit leads by 2 with 6 minutes remaining. Detroit has 3 players with 5 fouls.
Oh, wow.
Goaltending on Robert Parrish. It's a 4-point Detroit lead.
See if Boston tries to come down and get the ball to McHale.
Boston has all 5 starters in there. 2 rookies on the floor for Detroit, along with their super sub, Vinnie Johnson. Was tipped out of bounds by Detroit. It will belong to Boston.
We've got to give Detroit a lot of credit. Right now, they have a very active team on the floor. They have 2 shot blockers, Rodman and Sally.
Bird for 3. No, only 2. He was stepped on the line.
Well, Rodman took a nap that time. You can't get off Larry Bird.
More significantly, Larry Bird finally hits from long range. Detroit by 1. 5:20 to go in the game. Thomas blocked by Bird. Ainge tried to feed to Bird. Good defensive play by Detroit. Sally doesn't get the roll. It's going to be a Detroit-Boston foul, loose ball. That's on Ainge. He has 3 now. Make that 3 Detroit players with 5 fouls. Mahorn, Rodman, and Sally. 2 Boston players. McHale and Day have 5.
You know, Boston's got a run left in them. Detroit's going to have to execute here. You can bet that Boston's going to suck it up and make a run, especially on the defensive end. Question is, do they have enough strength to get it done or not? Got a man over the corner wide open, Isaiah Thomas.
He's got to shoot it over Robert Parrish. Illegal defense called against Boston. Jess Kersey made the call. It'll be a technical, and the free throw will be shot by Isaiah Thomas. Ainge upset. We were talking about the bench. Right now, the two rookies and super sub Vinnie Johnson in there for Detroit. Detroit's bench has outscored Boston's 35-6 in this game.
Well, I want to tell you what, there's nothing substitute for fresh legs. And especially when fresh legs and young rookies that are playing with enthusiasm and are playing well. And right now, you got to give a lot of credit to the Rodman and Sally on the defensive end with their shot blocking right now has changed a lot of this ball game around.
Timeout on the floor with 4 minutes 41 seconds remaining in this game. Detroit leading it by 2. Don't go anywhere. Bob Neal and Doug Collins with you from Boston Garden. Detroit by 2 with 4:41 to go in the ball game. Let's see who Detroit sends out. Their starters, Ainge and Johnson, Parrish, Bird and McHale. That's for Boston. For Detroit, it's Sally, Lambeer, Dennis Rodman, Vinnie Johnson, and Isaiah Thomas. And it's been a long, dry spell at the Garden for the Pistons.
I think you can see what Detroit's doing right now, too. They're going defense. They've got Adrian Dantley on the bench. They've kept him there a long time. They've gone with the rookies.
Bird blocked it, but couldn't control it. Lambeer has it blocked by McHale. Foul in the backcourt. It's on Isaiah Thomas.
Be interesting to see how long Chuck Daly stays with this lineup. Does he come back with Adrian Dantley, maybe for a Sally, and keep Rodman possibly on Larry Bird?
And here's something significant. Detroit into the penalty with that call. That means Boston will be shooting free throws the rest of the way. The Celtics with only 2, and there's the substitution you're talking about.
Well, you got to think now you've got to go with some offense, too. He's going to go with Rodman. That'll put Adrian Dantley matched up on Larry Bird. So let's just look to see if the Boston Celtics try to go in the post and try to get to the free throw line with Bird against Dantley. Detroit can go to the basket with it, but Boston can be aggressive because they've got 2 fouls to waste.
Bird hasn't missed from the line, has 33 points to match his number, and now he has 34. It is tied at 95 with 4.5 minutes to go.
Joe Dumars in the ball game in the backcourt with Vinnie Johnson, so they get an Isaiah Thomas a rest. They've got Sally. Let's see if they go to Adrian Dantley.
Sally to Lambeer. He couldn't control it. Boston can take the lead again. Bird finds Johnson. He penetrates over Lambeer off the glass. Parrish is there to put it and miss it. Lambeer to Johnson. Detroit running, and Parrish is down again. Sally with the tip in.
Robert Parrish cannot get up. The game is still going on. So, you know, Robert Parrish, I hate to say this, in the 3-second lane right now. They can call you for that being in the lane.
And now they get the timeout. Ray Melchiori comes back out. 3:41 to go in the game. Detroit leading by 2. And that man is playing on nothing but heart. He went out with an ankle injury that would keep most people out of the game. Came back in, and now he's twisted it again. If he can come back in here again, he might want to get his own TV show. Heel ankles.
I tell you, Robert Parrish is a warrior. Let's watch what happens. He gets the rebound. Watch it now. He's going to go up. And again, he comes down on somebody's ankle. He came down on Larry Bird's ankle that time. And this guy is snake bitten. You know how many times that happens during the course of the season when you come down on somebody's foot? He's done it 3 times tonight.
Detroit 6 of 14 from the floor in this 4th quarter. Boston shooting only 21%, 3 of 14. Boston led this series 2 games to none after their Tuesday-Thursday wins here. Went in for the Saturday-Sunday losses, the lost weekend in Pontiac, they called it in the Boston papers. Came back here, tied at 2. Now they trail by 2 with 3 minutes 41 seconds to go. And there's significant statistics. Both teams out of 20-second timeouts. Detroit with 3 full timeouts and Boston with 2. 5 team fouls on Detroit. They're in the penalty. Boston has committed only 2. But the big problem for Boston right now is Parrish, who looks to be leaving the arena. Robert Parrish is finished for this day. What an effort he gave. Parrish had 11 points, 8 rebounds, some significant blocked shots in the game. And now Detroit likes to penetrate. Parrish keeps him from doing that, along with McHale. McHale's got 5 fouls. Parrish is out of there.
Well, you look at the lineup that Detroit has on the floor right now. They have a quick, aggressive team. I still think you're going to see Bird in the post against Dantley, maybe trying to draw a foul. Also, Kevin McHale has not touched the ball in the low post. He's not attempted a shot since he's been back in the ball game.
Exactly. When he went out with 5 fouls, McHale had 18. He still has 18. Bird with 34 points and 12 rebounds and 7 assists. Boston looking to tie on this possession. Bird over Sally. Sally got a piece of it. Out of bounds. Jess Kersey couldn't see it, and Jack Madden gave it to Detroit. And Dennis Johnson is berserk.
I'm surprised he didn't get a technical. He really came at Jack Madden. Oh, man, this is a wild game.
Detroit by 2, 3:18 to go.
On isolation, Dantley against Darren Day.
Gets help from Ainge. Wild pass. Shot clock to 6. Johnson over McHale. Oh, my. Vinnie Johnson over the 6'11" Kevin McHale. Boston trailing now by 4. McHale finds Day open. Gets the layup and the foul. A chance to pull to within 1 for the Celtics. The Celtics know that if they cannot win here, they have to go back to Detroit on Thursday.
Well, Kevin McHale got the double team, and nobody picked up Darren Day. John Sally turned his back, and he was playing Bird. He's the weak side man. He's got to pick up the cutter. He's the only man that can see him coming, and that's John Sally has fouled out of the game. They're now coming back to Rick Mahorn,
who's got 5 fouls. But Sally played very well defensively, except on that example.
He sure did. But when you're on the box that time, you've got to be able to rotate over and pick up the man cutting to the basket. We're on that odd point right now, and Vinnie Johnson, let's see if he looks to continue to take the outside shot.
It's tough to stay in my seat. What a ball game. Detroit by 1. They get the switch now in the double team. Lane Beer has it batted away by Day. What a defensive play for Day. And a foul in the backcourt. Loose ball foul. It's on Lane Beer, and he gets 4. And Boston's in the penalty all the way. The Celtics have committed only 2 team fouls in this quarter.
Darren Day is fresh. He has fresh legs, and you can see the difference. He's got a 3-point play. He rotated out nicely on the last play. Bill Laimbeer made a sluggish pass. He just put the ball up for grabs. Darren Day got a piece of it, knocked it loose.
Day with a big free throw, and he goes to the line again. It's tied at 99. See the marks of war on Bill Laimbeer.
Darren Day was the hero in Milwaukee in Game 4.
Boston has the lead, 2:39 remaining. The rafters are talking at Boston Garden. Wonder if Detroit's listening. Shot clock to 9. Vinnie Johnson over Darren Day. Comes up short. Foul. It's going to be called on Day, and that will be 6 on Darren Day if, in fact, that's Day. Let's just make double sure that it is Darren Day. Day has just fouled out of the game. Parrish is in the locker room injured. Darren Day has to sit down. And now a big substitution call for K.C. Jones.
He's going to go with 3 guards. He's going to, well, looks like he's going to go with Seaston to go with 3 guards. That means that Dennis Johnson, with his size, will probably play Adrian Dantley at the forward position.
Giving up only an inch, but it's a tough way to play a great post-up player with the lower body strength of Dantley.
Let's look at the matchups now, which are going to be ever so important. You'll probably have Danny Ainge playing Vinnie Johnson, Jerry Seaston against Dumars, and Dennis Johnson against Adrian Dantley. Interestingly enough, right now, Chuck Daly has decided to take Isaiah Thomas out of the ballgame as Isaiah's been on the bench like the last 2 minutes.
It's tied at 100. Detroit leads it by 1. 2:21 to go. The official word on Robert Parrish from trainer Ray Melchiori: will not return because of the sprained ankle. We certainly knew that when we saw him leave. 101-100. Detroit, McHale. They force him out high. Shot clock to 9. In the post. He's fouled. He'll go to the line. And it's Bill Laimbeer's 5th foul. Boston with 3 team fouls, remember, and that, of course, was a shooting foul, but any other foul on the part of Detroit sends Boston to the line. Celtics down by 1.
He's going back in now with Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah will come in for Dumars.
We're going to have a whale of 2 minutes here.
You know, the interesting thing now in this ball game, Detroit has their best offensive team on the floor. They've got Isaiah, Benny, Dantley, Laimbeer, and Mahorn. They've got their best offense, but it's not their best defensive team. And that could cause them problems as they come down the stretch right now.
McHale and Bird in the low post particularly.
Absolutely. You've got Adrian Dantley now who's going to be matched up against the Dennis Johnson out on the floor, and you've got Bird matched up against the Mahorn.
And Seasting trying to play Isaiah Thomas, who's trying to clear everybody away. Seasting's all over him, and they call Seasting for a foul. That's only the 4th. Detroit still will not go to the line.
I think they've called it on Dennis Johnson in the post. They've tried to get an isolation with Dantley. DJ hasn't locked up, and they've called the foul. From here on in now, it'll be free throws for both teams, and Boston leading by 1.
Seasting all over Isaiah Thomas, too. Here he is again. Isaiah gets it to Dantley. There's the double team. Dantley gets to Laimbeer. Bird gets out on him. Bothered the shot. Doesn't fall. Rebound, Benny Johnson. Rebound, Dennis Johnson. Boston by 1 with a minute and a half to go. Oh, Detroit had the chance, couldn't get it to fall. Timeout, Boston. There's the story. A minute 26 to go in the game. Boston leading by 1. Detroit has Mahorn, Laimbeer, Thomas, and Rodman with 5. Sally's already fouled out. Day has fouled out for Boston, and McHale has 5. Nobody else with more than 3 for the Boston Celtics.
During the timeout, they took out Jerry Seasting, brought in Fred Roberts, a bigger player, to match Rodman. Watch Bird throwing the ball in out of bounds. He is dangerous. Keep your eye on him because he'll throw the ball in and they'll look to try to rub him off the screen.
They just did. Mahorn playing Bird now. There's Bird off the screen from the corner. Big basket by Larry Bird. That's a 2-pointer. Detroit by 3 with a minute 13, and Bird has 36. And after the shooting slump, Doug Collins, Larry Bird, with the confidence born of the star he is, hits the long-distance jumper.
Let me tell you something about great shooters and great scorers. They are never in slumps. They're going to keep shooting it, and Larry Bird, he's going to come across, he's going to set a screen, and then he fades back to the corner. Mahorn with a hand in his face, nothing but the bottom of the match. Still a minute 13 to go, 3-point lead for Boston now. Remember I said a while ago that Detroit had their best offensive team on the floor, but not their best defensive team. And what happens, you get a run going, and then you have to substitute because of fouls, and you get out of sync. And Boston is showing terrific courage tonight.
So Boston has 1 timeout remaining. Detroit has 2 timeouts remaining in this game. Red Auerbach, who's seen it so many times before. You know, it's been nearly 20 years since Red coached. But I think in his mind, he coaches every one of the games. And for Detroit, as you look at that, it has to be said, and I think it was said best by Chuck Daly. He says, I'm not saying that we're coming in here lightly because we're very intense. But he says, I feel the pressure's off. We've had a heck of a year. We got our 2 in Detroit, and now we just feel, let's let it happen.
But you know what, though, Bob, with all the Celtic injuries, I'm not so sure that most people don't feel that Detroit should come back and win this series. I think it's an easy thing for a coach to say to take the pressure off his team. But I think that Chuck Daly feels some pressure to win this series with Boston being beat up, and especially now with Parrish, going down.
Well, it's going to cause questions for Thursday night. 2 significant questions here quickly. One is that Casey Jones' mother passed away, and he will not coach, we understand from Boston, the Thursday night game, leaving it to Jimmy Rogers and Chris Ford. And how will the Robert Parrish ankle be? But for now, we've got a minute 13. Boston leads by 3.
I think if Boston wins this ball game, I bet you Parrish didn't even go on the trip. They'll rest him like they did Game 6 against Milwaukee. And
possession for Detroit. Laimbeer way out high. Seasting all over Isaiah Thomas, and he's called for the foul. It'll be a shooting foul. In a way, from a Boston point of view, maybe not that bad a foul, in the sense that the free throw opportunities are made and Boston gets their hand on the ball with 1:08 to go.
Well, what that does, though, it gives Chuck Daly a chance to substitute. And he can start making defensive substitutions now. The clock stopped. He can bring Rodman in the game. He can bring Dumars in the game. So he can get his better defenders in the game and take out his offensive players.
Isaiah Thomas makes it a 2-point game. He can pull the Pistons to within 1. And here come Rodman and Dumars.
You can bet that when Boston comes down, in some way Larry Bird's going to be part of the play. Either as a passer or setting a screen and rolling back to the ball or trying to get to the free throw line.
1:01, exactly a minute remaining. Boston by 1. Here's Bird against Mahorn. Ainge from the top of the key. Big bucket by Ainge. It rattled home. Laimbeer answers for Detroit. Time remaining at the lower right, 45 seconds. Every possession very important.
Well, I tell you, Mahorn ran up there and almost fouled Bird. You don't want to foul Bird. He's a 90% free throw shooter. You want to make Boston right now beat you from the field. You don't want to put him on the free throw line.
10 on the shot clock. 9, 8, Bird down low. Misses. Mahorn rebounds and calls timeout with 27 seconds to go in this game. It'll probably not be an overtime situation because it is a 1-point game, and Bird missing a critical close-in shot. Mahorn with the rebound. One timeout remaining for each team. 27 seconds remaining in this game. Larry Bird, who tonight has had a whale of a game with 36 points, 7 assists, 12 rebounds, just missed a critical one. And Rick Mahorn, who's been very quiet with only 4 points and 5 rebounds, perhaps got the most important rebound of this series at this point in time, certainly, when he got the miss.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Detroit comes out of this timeout with. In a lot of critical situations during the course of the season, they like to run Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer on that sideline screen and roll play. Maybe let Laimbeer slip the screen quickly to try to roll out. If the defensive man goes with him, Isaiah likes to look to turn the corner and take the ball to the hoop. What Detroit doesn't want to do is just fire a standstill outside jump shot. They want to get something going to the basket.
And we might say here, I want to point something out, 27 seconds as you look at this rebound, 27 seconds to go in the game, and 23 seconds on the shot clock for Detroit. 1 ticked off, a 4-second disparity in the shot clock. So Boston will get another opportunity, even if it's only 4 seconds.
Now, will Chuck Daly take this ball on the sideline where he has only a little bit of room to get the ball in, or will he take it full court?
What would you do?
With this kind of time on the clock, I would take it full court because you've got 24 seconds to take the shot. You don't realize how difficult it is to get that ball in from the side sometimes. You cannot throw in the back corner in professional basketball. You've got 47 feet to get the ball in. Sometimes you have a difficult time getting it in. I'd take it full court, but we'll see what Chuck Daly decides to do.
Casey Jones coaching through the sadness of the death of his mother yesterday. Chuck Daly, who wants to continue building the winning ways in Detroit. Says he knows everybody wants to beat Boston and LA. He says he wants to get this franchise to where everybody wants to beat the Pistons. And right now, Boston is first in line in that desire. They lead by 1, 27 seconds to go. It's Detroit's ball.
See, Dantley cannot throw the ball into the backcourt, so he's going to make sure he gets the ball inbounds.
He does make the pass along the sideline.
We got Isaiah Thomas out on the top of the floor against Seasting.
16 seconds. Seasting right in his face. Thomas with a very big bucket, and Boston uses their last timeout. Detroit with 1 remaining. And it's Detroit by 1, 17 seconds, so Boston goes for the final shot.
Well, interesting strategy there. Chuck Daly decided to go quickly with it. He did not want to use much clock, giving his team a chance there if the shot was missed to rebound it, or if Boston was able to get it, then they were able to have enough time to maybe defend. But watch the shot as it goes up. You're going to see Rodman react. Still plenty of time. 1-point lead, 17 seconds to go. Larry Bird on the floor for Boston. Don't celebrate till that horn sounds.
McHale still in the ball game, and Bird. You must wonder if Dennis Johnson might handle the ball, then get it to Bird, then look to get it to McHale low. What do you call on this, Doug Collins?
Well, I think you're going to see probably Boston run some kind of screen action on the baseline. Maybe a guard pending across, popping Kevin McHale into the low post where they can look for him. Weak side action with Bird maybe coming off a screen. And I tell you, Larry Bird, unless he has a wide open shot, will drive the ball to the hoop and put the onus on the official to make the call. He will not let the game be determined by a jump shot unless he's absolutely wide open.
And Chuck Daly is talking to his Pistons. What does he say?
Well, guys, we got 17 seconds right now. We need to stop. We do not want to foul. We do not want to give up any touch fouls going to the basket for three-point plays. If you're in a position and you're beaten, make sure the foul you give is hard enough where you don't give up a three-point play. If we're going to give up something, let's make it be a perimeter jump shot, and let's not foul a jump shooter.
Kevin McHale with 20 points in this game. Only 2 points in the fourth quarter, though. He's been ridden with 5 fouls. Bird will inbound, 17 seconds remaining. Mahorn talking to Bird right now. He's right in front of here talking to Bird. Into Dennis Johnson.
We're going to run a flare for Bird coming off the McHale screen.
There's Bird with the ball against Mahorn.
He'll take it to the hoop. You can bet. He's going to try to draw a foul.
It's blocked. And Seasting hit it off of a Detroit player. No, it is. Here's a disparity in the call. They're going to give the ball to Detroit. Bird steals it. Johnson, layup, Boston, 1 second left. Detroit timeout. 1 second left. Bird steals it and gets it to Johnson at the buzzer. 1 second remaining.
Oh my, what a mistake by Detroit. They should have called timeout and took the ball at half court. They threw a floating pass into Lambeer. Bird steals it. Oh, what a mistake. Veteran players cannot make that kind of mistake.
Look at Walton. He thinks it's a missed shot. He thinks the game is over. Seasting had tried to throw the ball off of a Detroit body to get the Boston call. He did not get that. It was Detroit ball. And then, as Doug told you, the mistake on the inbounds play. And with Bird anywhere near you, you can't do it.
You've got to call timeout at worst and regroup. Chuck Daly was signaling for a timeout. They threw a floating pass inbounds. Oh my, what a cardinal mistake. Now 1 second.
108-107 Boston. Game 5 Eastern Conference Championship Series.
I'm not believing that. Oh man.
Well, the Detroit Pistons have really battled the Celtics, and they deserve a lot of credit. However, remember that Boston had McHale in foul trouble much of the second half. Then, Robert Parrish re-sprained his ankle, had to leave the floor. Darren Day fouled out, and here it is again.
Well, let's watch this. First of all, it's a floating pass. Lambeer does not meet it. Bird picks it off, and then a driving shot by DJ. Man, oh man.
It'll be inbounded at half court by Adrian Dantley. Let's check the matchups. Mahorn's guarded by Roberts. Isaiah Thomas by Ainge. Bird is on Lambeer. McHale waving those long arms. Lambeer out of bounds. Boston will win this game. The buzzer sounds just as the ball goes out of bounds. There was less than a second remaining on the tick of the clock. And Detroit's valiant effort comes up a point short on a critical inbounds mistake. Boston's Larry Bird picked off the pass, got it to Dennis Johnson. He hit the clutch layup, and Boston wins at 108-107 to take a 3-2 lead in the Eastern Conference Championship Series. Back with the player of the game in a minute.